I've sat with this one for a long time. It kept coming back up, so fine, here it is. The creek smelled like iron and wet eucalyptus. Not unpleasant, just the kind of smell that tells you you're far from anywhere. The kind that sticks to your clothes and follows you home. This is an alleged encounter, submitted to us from regional Queensland, Australia. Rural, remote. The kind of property where the nearest neighbor is a 40-minute drive on an unlit road. Ryan, not his real name, was 23 years old when he took a job as a night watchman on a macadamia plantation, mid to late 70s. The work was simple. Sit in the elevated shack overlooking the creek, make sure nothing walked off with the crop. 6 nights on, 1 night off. Repeat until the season ends. He didn't mind the isolation, purportedly. He liked the quiet. He liked the dark. What he did not like, what nobody could have prepared him for, was the sound that started on his second night out there. He described it as bells, but not the kind you've heard before. Delicate, rhythmic, somewhere deep in the orchards. Not animal, not machinery, not wind through metal. He went out and checked on the second night. Nothing. Third night, same sound, same approximate direction, same clean rhythm. He started keeping notes. Times, duration, direction. 6 nights, same sound. Always starting around 2 in the morning. Always from the same section of orchard. He said, and this part I keep turning over, he said it was actually beautiful. That's the part that unsettled him in hindsight. It never frightened him. It called to him. On the 7th night, he didn't go looking for it. It came to him. A woman appeared at the base of the shack. No torch, no vehicle, no path she could have reasonably walked in the dark. She's simply there, standing in the space between the tree line and the shack, looking up at him. According to what was submitted, she was remarkable looking, not in a way he could describe afterward without struggling, just impossible, he said. The word he kept using was impossible. She spoke first. She offered to marry him. Ryan, 23 years old, alone on a plantation at 2 in the morning, said yes. He would spend years afterward trying to explain why he said yes so quickly. He never could. He brought her home, and that's when the neighbors started talking. Nobody could see her, not clearly. His family, his mother, his uncle, the people who worked the property, they'd catch something, a shape in a doorway, a shadow moving across a room before anyone had entered it. His mother described the sensation of a presence nearby consistently without being able to turn and look directly at whatever it was. Then, one afternoon, his mother was working outside in the heat. She reported that something, an invisible hand, she said, extended an umbrella over her head. She stood there in the shade of an umbrella held by nothing she could see. She didn't run. She didn't scream. She said, "Thank you," quietly into the open air, and kept working. Ryan gave his mother a dress shortly after, vintage lace, the one he said his wife had been wearing when they first met. "Hide it," he told her. "Whatever she asks, whatever she says, do not give it back." Then the uncle came to visit. He wanted to meet her, or whatever "met" implied in this situation. He asked, apparently, announced himself. A large box of pastries materialized on the kitchen table, expensive ones. No delivery, no explanation. And then, directly into his ear, a voice, distorted, low, wrong in a way he couldn't locate. "Do not compare me to anything. Do not try to speak to me. If you do, things will end very badly for you." The uncle left the house. He never came back. Not for family occasions, not for anything. What he allegedly heard in that kitchen ended his relationship with that household permanently. And then, Ryan was late coming home from the plantation, and his mother made a decision that changed everything. His wife approached his mother that evening. She wanted the dress. The mother said no. The mother held. For a while. But whatever was in that house, whatever had been sharing rooms with them for months, had held that umbrella over her head, had fed them pastries from thin air. It applied pressure in a way the mother couldn't describe later except to say she felt what it would be like if it stopped being kind. She gave the dress back. The air filled it, that sound, the one from the orchards, that creek smell. Iron and wet eucalyptus flooded the room as though the house had suddenly opened up into the dark outside. 6 silhouettes descended from the sky. Not rising from the ground, not running from the tree line, descending from above, from the night itself. 6 of them, dark shapes, female in outline, moving with a purpose that had nothing frantic about it, calm, inevitable. They took her, and they were gone. Ryan came home to an empty house and a mother who couldn't stop her hands from shaking. He collapsed, and then, finally, he told the truth. Years before the plantation job, before any of this, he had stumbled upon a secluded bend in a creek somewhere on the property. Moonlit night, 7 women bathing. He said he froze. He said he couldn't explain what made him do what he did next. He gathered their clothes, all of them, and hid in the undergrowth. To get them back, the youngest had to agree to his terms. She did. She kept her word. Completely, reportedly, without exception. She shielded his mother from the sun. She fed his uncle before warning him away. She never once broke what she had promised. Her sisters had simply been waiting for the one thing that would dissolve the agreement. And his mother, without knowing what she held, gave it to them. Ryan reportedly never went back to the plantation, never went back to the creek. In the years that followed, those who knew him described a deterioration that happened quietly, not dramatically. He didn't become violent or volatile. He became absent, like something behind his eyes had simply stopped engaging with the world around him. He wandered. He lost the thread of conversations mid-sentence. He'd stop and listen for sounds nobody else could hear, then seem slightly disappointed when nothing came. Some people called it heartbreak, and maybe it was. Heartbreak takes many shapes. Others believed what he'd taken from that creek wasn't just their clothes, that there's a kind of debt that accumulates when you force something into a life it never chose, and that when it's collected, it takes more than what was originally owed. I don't know which of those is true. I'm not sure it matters. What I do know, and this is the part I can't make sense of, the part I've never been able to explain away, is that the mother, years later, mentioned something she'd never told anyone. The night the dress was returned, after the silhouettes rose back into the sky and the sound faded and the house went quiet. There had been 7 of them at that creek. Ryan had taken clothes for 7 women, but only 6 came back for her. She never found out where the 7th went. Neither did we.
If you're still awake, if something about this one is sitting with you in a way that won't quite let go, that's the right response. Some stories aren't supposed to leave cleanly. If this resonated, subscribe to 3 AM Horror Audio. Share it with someone who listens to things they probably shouldn't. And if something has been keeping you awake, something you've never told anyone, send it to mishorbm42@gmail.com. I may narrate your encounter next. Good night. Try to sleep. The question I want to leave you with tonight and I mean this genuinely, is this. Ryan stole their clothes to gain control. She agreed to marry him. She kept every part of the agreement. So who exactly was the one who got trapped?